We're going to have a go at creating our first bit of Scratch programming. So the first thing we need to do is open up Scratch, and there's a couple ways to do this. You might already have it installed on your computer at home. It is a free download, but I'm going to show you how we can use the online version. So what I'm going to do is go to my computer, and looking at my computer I'm just going to open up a web browser. It doesn't matter what web browser we use. I'm using Firefox here, and I'm just going to Google Scratch. And the link that comes up, the top one is scratch.mit.edu. This is what we want to be using, and I can click the link, and this is what we see. So this is our Scratch environment. Now if we click create, it allows us to actually start making a Scratch project. Eventually, over the next few weeks, we're going to be making a game, but to start with we'll learn a few basic commands and instructions. You do have a tutorial here, this part here, but I'm going to run through what we need to do. If you want to have a look at the tutorial, you're more than welcome to, but I'm just going to close this. Now, when pupils make Scratch games, it's great, but I really don't like Scratch the Cat as a character for our game, so I'm going to straight away get rid of this. And what you can do is you can either choose a sprite here, or what I'd much rather you do is spend a little bit of time painting your own sprite using the drawing tools here, that you can create your own character. So that'd be much better if you could do this. To keep this simple, I'm just going to keep a very small little purple dot, or I could just use a circle. So here's my circle. This is going to be my sprites, my object from the game. I do hope you're going to create something much more impressive than my dot, but you're going to have a little bit more time to do this. So there is my sprite. Now this is under the costumes, is what it looks like. I'm now going to click on the code, and what I want to do is use these blocks of code. Now there are lots and lots of blocks, and we're going to use quite a few of these, but they're all grouped by colour. So I'm going to start to control my dot. So what I've got is an event, and I'm looking for when space key is pressed. I want there to be motion on my dot, so what I'm clicking on is change X, and I can find change X by 10. So every time I press my space key on my environment here, this sprite is going to change by 10. I'm going to press it now, and you can see it move. Now we need to understand what this change X by 10 means. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have a look at a Cartesian coordinates. Now we need to realize that 0 is right in the middle. This is our x-axis, and this one top to bottom is our y-axis. So here we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we change x by a number, it's going to move in this direction. If we change y by a number on our graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, if we change y by a number, it's going to go up. Now if this is x going up, along the x line we can actually go down as well with negative numbers. So we can change an x by a negative value to go backwards. Likewise, we can change a y by a negative value to go down. So here I've got change x by 10 in my game. Thinking about this, change x by 10, it's going to move forward 10 steps. So I can either build up a new bit of code, or I can right click and duplicate this, and I might get rid of the change x by 10, dropping that back into its original section, and I can just change change x by, and in the numbers I can put -10, but I need to change my command. So instead of space key, I'm going to put this as left arrow. So when I press my left arrow, my sprite is now going backwards. When I press space, it goes forward. I can of course change the command from the space key to right arrow. So if I press the right arrow, it can move forward. If I press the left arrow, it can move back. I need to do the same for the up and down. So I can go to an event, and again, when space key is pressed, and I can change this from the drop down to up arrow, and this time on my motion, which is blue, I'm going to my Y. So I've got change Y by 10. So when I press the up arrow, my sprite goes up. Now using this instruction here, hopefully you can work out how to use a down arrow to make your sprite go down. So we've learnt the first steps of creating a sprite, drawing the sprite, editing the sprite, and giving it commands to move up, down, left and right. It's now your turn to give this a go.